Lately I was looking through my Steam library trying to find some universe to revisit, but every time I hovered over the install button, I felt anxious. I ended up back in Fallout 76 and it got me thinking, what is the exact moment a fun new game turns into a chore or a second job? In a world of seasonal vibes, gear score treadmills and pretty much mandatory daily grinds, I keep coming back to the one game the internet tells you to hate. Today I want to talk about why I quit every other MMO for the broken masterpiece that is Fallout 76. So whether you're new, battle-scarred or just here for the drama, welcome. A little disclaimer here before we proceed. The games I'm talking about today are actually cool. I have spent hundreds, sometimes thousands of hours in them, and my goal isn't to trash them, but to look at the specific pain points that could stop me and you from ever hitting that install button again. I'm not praising Fallout 76 either, but there are reasons it is my most played game, and the first reason is... Let's start with this weird thing. Once human. On paper, it is incredible. It is a sleek, modern, beautiful theme park, the combat is dynamic and the style is honestly to die for, but there's a catch that often kills it for me. The scenario system. I would say that Once Human is built for cardio training while Fallout is built for stamina. Every scenario in Once Human is a race where the finish line resets your character so you can go for another race. Sure, you can keep some of your hard-earned progress, but your base, your gear and your resources are essentially gone. It's what they call anxiety-driven design. It's made to force you to play right now because your progress can expire. And before you mention the permanent servers, trust me, I have tried them. The only 1.5 people I met on those servers, only days after the scenario ends, didn't even speak English. It was a digital wasteland and not the fun kind. And I get why they do it. It is the classic endgame problem. The scenario vibes every few weeks because without a reset, the gameplay loop breaks. Once you went from zero to hero and got all the loot, there is nowhere left to go but to go down. Such a reset is a mercy kill for the game that doesn't know how to keep you interested. When I play such games, I keep asking myself, am I the crazy one? Do people really enjoy their progress being reset every other month? What do you think? Because Fallout 76 doesn't need a mercy kill. The game doesn't take your stuff away, so the goals shift. At some point, the game stops asking you to be stronger and starts asking you to be cooler. This crappy, high-pressure system simply doesn't exist there. Fallout above everything is a sandbox, and here I'm not a tenant, I'm an owner. If Once Human is a race, then Fallout 76 is a marathon where you can take a nap for a couple of months and then just pick up from where you left off. Here, you don't just hunt the best gear, you hunt the weirdest or the rarest. Do you even know how many years I spent looking for a bloody shovel with swing speed and reduced weight before legendary crafting was a thing? Is it going to solo the Scorchbeast Queen? Of course not, it's a bloody shovel. It was just a meme that me and my friends had for years. And when I finally got that natural role, I was genuinely proud. I don't feel limited. The game gives me the environment to do exactly what I want to do, whether it is building a camp, hunting for weird, rare things, or making the build based on the pain train card that would perform surprisingly well. And speaking of being limited by the game's design, that leads me to the next point. Some games suffer from what I call class jail. Look at Elder Scrolls Online. I freaking adored the exploration in that game, but there's quite a big wall you hit as a new player. Once you pick a Dragon Knight, you're always a Dragon Knight. And it's not because you want to be, it's because there is no way to switch your class. You can change just about everything except your class and your skills. And if you do start over with the new character, congratulations, now you get to pick up every single sky shard by hand again. Or surprise surprise, spend real money to skip the grind you've already done. Fallout 76 is the only MMO I have played that lets you have a midlife crisis every Tuesday. Today I'm a bloodied stealth commando, melting everything in my watts range. Tomorrow I decide I want to be an unkillable tank, and on the weekend I'm a freaking archer. And seriously, archers, who hurt you? What are those absolutely filthy damage numbers? And the best part, I don't need to create a new character. I have 2 builds ready to swap at any time, and if you're on PCs there are even ways to expand that with mods up to 24 slots. So basically, in Fallout the game doesn't define who I am. I do. And if I get bored of my playstyle, I just have to change my cards. But even if you can change who you are, most MMOs still treat you like a hamster on a very expensive, very shiny treadmill. A lot of MMOs are built on what developers call vertical progression. It is a fancy corporate term for a hamster wheel. I had a massive problem with this in New World. Really sucks to see this game soon to be dead. It is always an artificially stretched grind. It doesn't let you progress fast, it just feeds you the upgrades one drop at a time, so the grind never actually ends. We see the same problem in Once Human 2, by the way. The gear isn't just split by tiers, it has this blueprint calibration system that allows you to craft better gear in the future. And until recently, it also had calibration for the gears that you already crafted. It was absolutely exhausting, and I'm happy they cut at least half of that grind out recently. In Fallout 76, once you reach level 50, your gear has essentially peaked. There is no gear score 9000. A level 50 fixer is a level 50 fixer. You just slap some mods on it and you're king. And those mods aren't locked behind the 40-man ultra-hard raids. They are not too hard to find once you know where to look. And also because 76 is a horizontal game, I'm not grinding just to keep up with you, I'm grinding to show off to you. My power doesn't come from a number over my head, it comes from my build and my collection. I'm chasing a glowing Fastnacht mask so I can flex on everyone at the next event. In Fallout, once you're powerful, you stay powerful. The game lets you stop worrying about the numbers and start worrying about your outfit. Grinding for gear when it is not artificially stretched is generally cool, but needing a wiki on a second monitor just to understand why you're grinding is where I draw the line. So I want to be clear, I'm a huge fan of Warframe. I hop back in every other year because I'm into these horny ninjas in space aesthetics, and the community management is an absolute god tier meme generators.
This is Bob Pip.
But playing Warframe sometimes doesn't feel like playing a game, it feels like studying, because with over 1000 hours I still feel like I'm not through with the tutorial part. If you aren't checking a wiki every 5 minutes to see where an Entrati Lanthorn drops or how status duration interacts with armor stripping, you're playing it wrong. It is the only game I know that forces me to have the browser open on my second monitor at all times. If you don't live in the game or have a friend who does, best you can do is copy-paste the build you saw online and pray it works, because good luck understanding how it all interacts with each other. It is not as relaxing as I want it to be sometimes. Fallout 76, on the contrary, is refreshingly simple. It is readable. Psycho gives me plus 25% damage. Done. I get it. My brain doesn't hurt. Call me a filthy casual and I agree. In 2026, when life is already complicated enough, I just want to shoot a mutant with a rifle that does a little choo-choo when I reload and then just go about my day. And let's not forget the built-in aimbot that lets you enjoy the carnage while you're half asleep on your couch. It makes your adventures chill, and sometimes that's exactly what a masterpiece should be. And finally, let's talk about the biggest part of any online game, the humans, or in most cases, the lack of humanity. In games like Dune Awakening, toxicity is practically a core feature. I have put 300 hours into that game and I've had exactly one positive interaction with another player. And the rest? Well, you better check my other video out to see how that went.
Hi Hitler.
Don't quote me on the new patch status, but in the beginning, if you wanted the best materials, the game essentially forced you into zones where 10-man clans were just waiting to delete your progress for lulz. And look, I'm not saying PvP is plain bad. I put on my big boy pants regularly and ventured into the deep desert, and I took everything it had to offer. But when the general experience of interacting with other humans is just oof, you start to wonder, why are you even playing this game? Now let's see how Fallout 76 treats us. Bethesda actually tried to make 76 a hardcore PvP game back in the day. They gave us the tools, the game modes, and the mechanics to be absolute monsters to each other. And the community collectively looked at it and said, nah. PvP just didn't stick. Sure, there is a handful of bad apples, but the only toxic trait of Fallout 76 players is literally their obsessive desire to be helpful. And by the way, if you're playing on PC and you're struggling with mods or gear, feel free to hit me up in the comments. I can probably jump in and help you out free of charge. So, in the end, it all reached a point where some newbies have to stand their ground and refuse gifts. We are built different because the game's jank and early failures bonded us together. We don't have clans that gatekeep content. We have a bunch of chems and stim packs that we are desperate to give to strangers. So is Fallout 76 perfect? Oh god, no. This game is held together by duct tape prayers and the ghost of a 20-year-old engine. Bethesda has a habit of deleting features fill out, the servers occasionally decide to take a nap, but when I look at the rest of the industry, the vibes, the gear score, the class jails, I finally realize why I'm still here. Fallout 76 is the only MMO that doesn't want to be my job, nor does it want to be my child. It just wants to be my comfort zone wasteland. It is a broken masterpiece that actually lets me to chill the hell out. So if you're tired of the rat race in your current MMO, Appalachia is still here. The water is irradiated, the neighbors are weird, and sometimes it just works happen. But the rent is free and your progress is forever. And if you want games to be an escape and not a speedrun research project, stick around. We're building a sanctuary for the filthy casuals like me here. Thanks, and I'll see you later.